Okay, good morning, good morning. Should be able to now see and also hear. What's up, Jose Frank, Joe Frank? Mr. Blue here, TradePhantoms.com. Lining this up, lining this up. Today's date, what's going on, Ravi? October 15th. Port Max, 29. Good morning to you, sir. Sup? All right. Be a 1 hour session here, as usual. Want to? Yes, sir. Good morning to you. Class tonight. Today being Tuesday, normal schedule. Tomorrow, Wednesday, normal schedule. Asher, Pokemon, catch 'em all. Yeah, Terry, my man Terry. Alex, we got some. We got some future goats from Phantoms in here. Like to see it. Yeah, so everything between today being Tuesday and tomorrow being Wednesday regarding classes and live trade rooms, et cetera, is going to be the same. It's going to be the same schedule. Thursday and Friday, as you all know, my Phantoms in here traveling. So yesterday being Monday was the only kind of change because everything had to get kind of moved from Thursday and Friday to yesterday being Monday. So regular broadcast here Tuesday and Wednesday for Phantoms. All right, that said, let's dive in. October 15th, halfway through October already. 2024. You got Mr. Blue, TradePhantoms.com. Alex H. Caught oil. Would it be? I don't put it past you one bit, man. You are becoming a good trader. And this will be a 1 hour session. With myself, Mr. Blue. I'll go over some pre-market routine. I'll do some futures, map out some levels, map Globex traps, etc., and then hopefully have enough time to kind of go over into some equities and stock equities and options. And as always, if I see fit, meaning a valid setup, I will take it. I will take it with you folks in here as we do in the live trade room. The only difference being that I'm only going to be able to spend an hour with you versus with the trade room. We have hours and hours, and we manage to trade together and all that kind of good stuff, in addition to other things that we talk about when we have more time and space. That said, let's dive in. I'm not going to spend too much time here. Pretty quiet for news. Not much catalyst for this week, for the week of Monday the 14th to the 18th. And there's really not much to say, so I'm not going to spend too much time here. Even, today obviously being Tuesday the 15th, there's some Canadian news, CPI, for Forex traders, okay? And we do trade Forex, I trade Forex as well. For US, there's really not much. We had the Empire State Manufacturing Index, which is, didn't really move much. Tomorrow being Wednesday, there's absolutely nothing for the US in terms of news or catalyst. Thursday is going to be something where, a couple of things, core retail sales, unemployment claims, etc. Okay, we got the ECB press conference this week for Forex trading in the euro. And then Friday, it's pretty dry. So the only thing really that is noteworthy too as well, that definitely, which I'm not too happy about because I'm traveling, but the team knows that options expiration is this Friday for the month of October 18th being the third Friday of the month. So what's going on, Ryan? And so so that's that's something that that I would need more time to talk about and discuss. We talk about that a lot more in the trade room for options expiration. So for you folks that do know in Phantoms, it's a good month to potentially or a good expiration date to do some. Why is this thing moving so much? Maybe do some butterflies, etc. Hold on, let me see if I can. Is this thing moving? Why is this thing jiggling so much? See if I can fix that. What is going on here? Okay, I guess that's okay. All right, so let's get to the charts here. I'm gonna pull up. Um, Hold on, folks. Let me fix this. Sorry about this. Jeez. Just gotta share. More too. Funny. He's right though. He's right. I guess that's right. Streaming. I was just like it was just getting jiggy with it. But I think it's more stable now. All right, cool. All right, let's pull up futures here real quick. Major 4 indexes. But as always, just really quickly here, I'll do this quicker as I just burned a couple of 45 seconds of daylight as Montu is keeping me accountable for, which is great. And top-down approach, monthly, weekly, daily for you new folks. I color code. I bring this up every morning. We talk about this more in in some classes, right? But we have monthly, weekly, daily, orange, yellow, blue, kind of a checklist here to kind of get your trade plan started. Candlesticks, location being most important. We just spoke about that actually yesterday in some detail. Candlesticks, bearish candlesticks, location being most important. Okay, these are going to be the bearish ones. Instant supply in the context of downtrends, and the liquidity map, which we discuss in detail, of course, when we have the time and space. Right now, I have the major 4 indexes on futures. I have the S&P upper left, Nasdaq upper right, Dow Jones lower left, pop up new highs on Dow Jones Industrials, and we have a Russell 2000, which is on the bottom right, and trying to do something here, but is still not participating in much of anything that the S&P and Dow and Nasdaq are doing. If I bring up the daily time frame here, hopefully y'all can see this a bit better here. I get the 20 period moving average, get the 200 here as well. We've been in a base. We've been talking about this for quite some time, and we kind of broke out, right? We broke out. We've been catching bullish trades throughout this week and the latter part of last week. Okay, yeah, the Apple's having a big gap up here this morning, which I'm going to show in a moment. Apple's at the top of the list of the FANG, so that will be the first gap that I'm going to be looking at once I get through, some couple of futures products here. So we had a couple of good day trades bullish as this market finally kind of broke out of this range. Okay, so when my cursor is kind of moving sideways here, we've been talking about this for quite some time, where just we're not really moving much up, not really moving much down. We're just basing in the context of an uptrend. So we had a base, and then just recently, starting off, kind of last Friday-ish, we kind of broke up, right? Which we caught. Friday was a monster day for the team. All trades. There was so many setups that we couldn't even catch them all. It was crazy, right? The chat was nuts, just going over setups. Took like what, 8-9 trades, bullish, and everything was just flying, right? Courtesy of J.P. Morgan and financials sector as well. It was wild. So yesterday, as we had another kind of continuation follow through, right? S&P futures, all-time high. So there's no supply here. So we're going to drill down to the small time frames to look at some demand below that price, below current price. Nasdaq, switch over to Nasdaq daily time frame, Nasdaq futures here. And I can say the same thing. The only difference here, as I've been mentioning a couple times here, is that we have some supply up here to the left of Nasdaq. Nasdaq is not at all-time highs, so it's trying to play catch up with the S&P and Dow Jones in terms of the other two that are at all-time highs. We still have to absorb this level up here, all right, which is noteworthy, which I have. Up, okay. Could be some liquidity sweeping up here. We have a decent little close yesterday. We had inside bar, and then of course yesterday being Monday, this candle right here, nice breakout to the upside. And we have some demand lower down here, so we'll map out that in a moment. To take a small little failed trip down a rabbit hole really quickly, I had mentioned, or I have been mentioning, and I kind of been drawing this illustration here, up here with the impulse correction segments on the higher time frames up here. Okay, and now we are essentially trying to, if I were to draw this, I'll go to the chart on the bottom in a moment. We are coming up here now. We filled the gap, which I'm going to show you in a minute, and we're trying to now potentially participate Nasdaq, meaning into potentially all-time highs. Okay, if we can break to the upside. Okay, so Nvidia has been kind of, again, it's Nvidia against the world, right? Nvidia against everything else, and so Apple's now participating too with this major gap that we have up. So that might push the Nasdaq up for all-time high. Well, we'll see, right? We're not there just yet. All right, there's the all-time high in Nasdaq. If you look at this level up here. All right, we had this unfilled gap that I've been talking about for quite some time. We had an unfilled gap lower down here, and we came up and we filled this gap. Okay, I'm on a daily time frame of QQQs. Okay, and there was a gap fill right here, and we gapped up yesterday. We filled that gap, and I put these notes on this chart for a reason. I'm not trying to pound my chest here and say, "Hey, look at me." I had this level and it worked out. It's pretty simple. I'm in Apple and I'm wrong on Apple on a swing trade. Bought options for like $1.50. They're going to be wrong. Okay, so when we talk about levels that work out and wins, we also talk about our losses as well at Phantoms, right? We don't hide anything. So small loss on Apple. All right, on that. And yesterday we came up, we filled this gap, and then I was mentioning that we could kind of punch higher up, and then we have this liquidity sweep that I had mentioned at 48.484. And yesterday, that was a good area to basically make sure you take profits. Okay, liquidity wise, make sure you take profits on longs, and then if you want to elect to potentially take what's called a Globex trap, mean reversion short, both sides kind of worked out there. Okay, this morning we do have a slight gap up, and we're going to go stick to the morning routine as well. That did leave so I'll get back to futures in a moment, but that did leave a gap down in here. So we'll see if this could potentially get filled over the next day or two. We'll see. All right, so that comes in at about 493.35. So you could just kind of mark that off there, and this is going to be an unfilled gap. All right, and we'll see. I'm not sure if that's going to happen today, but you just want to pin that there now that we have that right below our current price. Okay, so getting and I'm going to save some time here. I'm going to drill down to the smaller time frames. I'll save some time. Dow Jones, same thing, all-time highs, and you want to, of course, we're in a bull market, so look for Globex traps below Globex lows into qualified levels of demand to pick off some longs. Okay, I'm going to save some time here and not even talk about Russell because this thing is just not moving. It's not moving. So there's other things to trade at the moment, in my humble opinion. For new folks in here, I got monthly on the left. I got weekly here in the middle, daily. So monthly, weekly, daily. All right. And on that, and we always want to check the monthly, weekly, dailies first and foremost. And then as you notice, I'll have the 60-minute time frame upper left. I have the 30-minute time frame lower left. I have the 5-minute time frame here in the middle, and I have the 2-minute time frame, small time frame here on the right. Okay, I'm going to open up the 60-minute time frame, 1-hour time frame of the S&P futures. One of the first things we want to do, of course, as always, is routine map out our Globex high, which is right there, represented by that blue line up there. Okay, Globex low, which is overnight session low, represented by this blue line right here. Okay, and so we had a decent little tight range for the Globex session so far. I think there's some kind of grays that out for us. This gray space is the overnight session. Okay, the darker space is the regular trading hours. Long story short is this: do I have a qualified level of demand, institutional level of demand below Globex low? And this Globex low is right here. So if I look down and left, and the answer would be yes, right? We have a couple of levels down in here. So you want to just map these out. So we have impulse, basing impulse. Basically, this was the level that really kicked off yesterday's rally off the open, right? This was yesterday's open for the most part. And then right when we opened, ding, 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 market open, the bulls just horned this market up, right? So, did that leave some demand down below? The answer would be yes. Okay, and that's a simple one right there. So don't even really have to articulate that as much because it's just a impulse, basing impulse. Yeah, there was a couple of basings candles right before the breakout of the regular trading hours. So this, there's a couple of levels on levels in here as well. All right, so if I just put a line to kind of put that all together here, that comes in at about, I'll just round up. I'll just use a nice even number here. 58.75. It's going to be demand, and this would be what's called, could be used as what's called a G trap, Globex trap long, okay, which is going to be bullish. All right. And yeah, not much to say there. All right, again, no catalyst today. All right, and there's another little level down in here as well, level on level in here. All right, that comes in at 58, call it 65, give or take. All right, so keep it short and sweet. Long story short, you know, if prices break below Globex low, we have a couple demand levels right in here that we can maybe pick off if you know, if you're short, which is going to be a hard short to do. You know, make sure you take a profit down in here, okay, to buy to cover, and then you could potentially elect to buy to enter to be bullish off that Globex trap long. Okay, and again, we have a couple levels down in here too that are still, you know, 57, 87s, but you know, let's cross this bridge. We can barely even pull back, right? Now, just be careful with that, right? I think literally, real quick note, okay, fun fact, the more you know, yesterday was you know, big up day in SPYs, SPX, etc., Nasdaq, but it was on one of the, it was off the back of one of the lowest volume days since the since 2000s, since like the early part of 2000s, the year 2000, early year 2000. So there's not a lot of volume supporting this new high right here. So and if you think about it, you know, anybody who's already long, like the portfolios, my long-term portfolios, I'm loving this bull market, right? But you know, you want to be careful. You don't want to be buying, you know, all-time new highs, right? If you look at any big bank and institutions, you know, target for the end of the year, you know, it's at like some, you know, the average is about, you know, some say 6,000, some say 59, some say 58. Okay, and we're what? We're only in October 15th. We still have basically Q4 just started. And you know, yesterday we closed SPX 5860s, so we're 40 points away from 4,900. Okay, so if you would have asked me a couple months ago that we were going to get up to close to 4,900 in a couple of months, I would have said, "Huh, no way, right? It'd have to take a little more time than that." But here we are. Here we are. So it happened very quickly. Okay, so shorts are just getting squeezed out. Okay, I got a couple of hedges on. I got some, you know, I got a couple of hedges on. I talked about that last Friday for the crew. Okay, but we've been taking bullish trades. Okay, we've been taking bullish trades throughout the past 2 weeks on this breakout, right? So low volume. So just be careful. Typically, you know, and it's October, so it's a prime season, election year, etc. too. So this thing's going on. So you know, just take it for a grain of salt right now. But typically, on a sustained, you know, big move, you would want to have, you know, some nice foundation in terms of volume, right? So we've had one of the lowest volume days in about what, 25, 24 years now. So just be a little careful with that. That's why, you know, I'm making sure that the crew here at Phantoms, the team, is just safe. Okay, we've been talking about putting on some, you know, we talked about putting on some hedges, some puts for insurance, okay? Just in case, you know, hey, something hits the fan and then this market takes like a, you know, I'm not saying a crash, okay, but, you know, a pullback, okay? A pullback, okay? Pullbacks are healthy, okay? Cool, I think I said enough there. For you aggressive traders, for you people who may know, you know, if you wanted to get a little bit more aggressive here, you know, there's a little IBI right here below. It's not the greatest in the world, but there is a little something right there if you wanted to kind of take a look at this. All right, and that comes in at about, you know, call it 58.95 to 58.90. Okay, I would also look for a potential quick little liquidity fish right below there as well. All right, so I would almost put my entry where people would have their stop losses right below this level, which comes in at about, call it 58.87. All right, 58.87. All right, NASDAQ. Keep a long story short here. Look up into that level up here on the left. All right, dive deeper into that supply zone with some of my Phantoms members in here. I'm just gonna map out the, so I'm gonna clean this up just a little bit here. All right, I like to keep the notes on for as long as possible to see how, so y'all can see between recordings and sessions how, you know, levels work out. Okay, but it's time to clean up pulse just a little bit here. It takes me about 2 seconds. All right, take these out, clean this up a bit there, boom, boom, and then I'm gonna map out our Globex high right now, which is right here, which is, we're kind of on that right now on NASDAQ futures, 1 hour time frame here. All right, Globex low here. Globex high here. All right, that gray space. All right, we're about to break out into a new high for Globex. Do I have demand below Globex low? Answer would be yes. We have a couple here. This one I want to be a little careful because this is an overnight session down in here. But we have this. Oops, we have this level that you could potentially look at. Nice even number 2 as well. Psychological number, 20,500. Okay, you can maybe put a pin on that. That could be used as a Globex strap long, as mentioned. We also, this is overnight. There's another level right in here. Be careful with that one. That's developed overnight. So I want to be a little careful with that one. I'll get a price in a moment. I got to pick up the speed a little bit. All right, rounding that to 20,500. All right, and I could put a pin on this one. Don't get me wrong. All right, 465. Okay, that's overnight session, so that's a little aggressive. All right, and in the event that we do drop lower, which may or may not happen, all right, today, not sure, but we do have this level right here. If that would have hit today, that would be pretty decent. It's that's not an overnight level. It's not fresh, not prime, but we could also pin that 360 handle right there in the event that we do have, for whatever reason, a big snapback here. All right, it may not happen, probably not. Probably would have it, would not say that it wouldn't. But in trading and investing, never say never. Okay, all right. Never say, oh, this is not going to happen. Never talk in definitives. Okay, always be objective and what if it does. Right. The question is, what if it does? Okay. So that's pretty simple right there. I've saved some time there, and I'm going to switch over into oil futures. It's so hard to trust oil. I'm actually in XOM. We have to get out of that trade today. I want to notify the team on that. All right, but if you are here right now and you're on the team, XOM, I'm going to be getting out of that today. But oil monthly, weekly, daily, okay, kind of messy, but because the chart is fairly messy, right? Very range bound, okay? We've been coming, monthly low range here, monthly upper range here, all right? And it's just been bobbing and weaving for years now, years and years and years, up and down, right? So we came from this monthly level, rallied up, had this supply here on the weeklies, could not get up into the price point of 80, okay? And then we have, markets up, markets down, markets up, markets down, right? So it's just very range right now. So it's hard to get a swing trade going with some follow through for longer than a day or two in oil, right? So we had a couple levels mapped out here. Globex low being here right now. If we just stick to the process and system, Globex high here, which is way up here. So oil took a dump overnight here today, or last night, I should say. All right, and Globex straps would be up here, all the way up here. So that's going to be hard to potentially get up there today. We do have this little drop-based drop that formed overnight. I would be more inclined to look at a liquidity sweep right above this level right here. So call it 72.25. That might be an area where some people will be getting stopped out on the supply zone in the event that we just spike up a little bit here. So this is where people will have their stops on shorts. And this could be a potential where we talk a lot about this, putting your entry where stop losses are. This could be an entry potential short, which is above the supply zone, but it's going to be a stop loss liquidity tag, right? And so that could be a potential trading setup here today. Comes in at about 72.25. All right. So yeah, I put my entry here. Okay. And then we have levels below here. We now be careful with this one here because we got some momentum now, right? So this little level right here, I want to be careful with this 69.55. So I'm gonna update this and just take that off the board because this is not the high quality level. It would have been better if it happened and tagged right down here for a liquidity sweep right here. Okay, but now that we have this massive momentum with a negative COG closed yesterday on the dailies, and we're below last week's low on the weeklies. Okay, we might be able to swipe even potential lower here today. So I have the 6800, 68 even, down in here close to that monthly level with IBI right in here. That's close to orange, which is monthly level. Okay, So yeah, momentum is short. So just for my phantoms, there might be a negative COG coming in here. That white line is VWAP. So we did just tag this supply zone right here. All right, an hour ago or so, right? And so we might be able to get some momentum continuation down here. But in the event that we do rally up here, okay, like I said, we can maybe come deeper up here, and I would put my entry right there, 72.25. All right, targets would be lower as we get closer down into that 69 handle down in here. Okay, and some of as you can see in the chat, some phantoms caught this swipe down in oil. So shout out to y'all, good job. All right, gold, monthly, weekly, daily, up, 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 up. Okay, and just getting straight to the point here. I got this daily level down here. I got the weekly level all the way down here. All right, this chart is a mess. All right, so weeklies are like 2544s, not happening today. And then I got dailies 2600. All right, those have been on for quite some time. That's down here. I got this blue zone down here. Weeklies are lower, but first we have to get down here. All right, this would be nice for a nice swing and long-term trade as well for long-term, but not going to happen today. So far we had a Globex high right here. All right, Globex low right here, which is right there. Okay, and if this happens today, this might be a decent one right here. This level was formed overnight, which is not ideal, but it was a little bit of a breakout segment. You'll learn more about that a bit more time. But there is a little something right there. Overnight session, so I would score that as cautious, right? But there is something there. There is something there. If I were to give you a price on that real quick, comes in about what, 26, I'll just round up, 48. IWM, man, IWM, IWM's been in range. It's been hard. I took a couple trades on IWM. Don't get me wrong, but look at all the other three indexes: Dow, S&Ps, and Nasdaq, and look at IWM, and tell me what's more exciting to trade: IWM or S&Ps, Nasdaq, and Dow. IWM needs to get its ish together. All right. Demand, I put an asterisk as well to say wait for a aggressive. You might want to wait for a positive COG at that level down in here. All right, comes in about what, 20, 20, what did I say, just round up to 48 handle. All right, there's a couple levels down in here too. Yes, exactly, Joe Frank. Exactly, And I'm not trying to be right or wrong on that. I mean, I'm voting for IWM. Let's go, move, right? I want to trade it. I'm not trying to. Don't take that out of context. I will trade anything that is lined up and moving. But if it's not, I have to put it in the back seat for right now. So, come on, IWM. Let's go, move. Russell, let's go, pick up. These levels are lower, they worked out great. Okay, cool, whatever. We had a supply zone. We had this one kind of, aggressive, right? Aggressive. It worked out, yada, 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 and then we're in range, right? So we're going to move on here. We got 15 minutes before market open. So just make sure you're picking your spots, right? Institutional order flow, all right? And being patient. And context and all that kind of stuff. And you'll be all right. So now let's move on here. I'm going to transition. Whoa. I want to see if this updated here today so far. I'm going to check VIX right now. Today's the 15th. Okay. VIX. Yesterday's high, yesterday's low. So we had a VIX drop yesterday. So in the live trade room, the team and I were, getting bullish. Even though we started a little bit late, all good, right? So we had a nice little bullish trade, kind of late afternoon. Anyways, today, let's see, we'll map out, VIX is coming down. It's a little elevated, right? But it's, I don't want to talk about this right now because I would need way more time, but, volatility is a very interesting thing, and I don't have enough time for that right now, but we're in like a regime right now where we have market up, VIX up, Then, well, anyways, I need more time to explain that. Definitely not the time and space right now, 13 minutes before open. So I want to be sure that I'm as much prepared as possible for you folks here, even for, on YouTube. So let me get back to the basics here. Globex low right here on overnight session on VIX. So you can see VIX down, right? VIX down, market up. VIX up, market down, to keep it simple. Okay, VIX is the implied volatility of SPX options 30 days implied vol. All right, to keep it short and sweet, it's an inverse correlation. All right, so as I'm just drawing this out, yesterday VIX was dumping down as the markets were rallying up. Okay, all right, so we mapped that out on the intraday as well to give us some insight, kind of like a barometer. SPYs. If I had more time, usually we build out what's called a call put matrix. I don't have enough time for that right now, but we have a slight gap up, inside gap. So futures are up very slightly, right? S&Ps. So nothing too crazy here, inside gap. All right, just again, this was built on low volume here, so we'll see, but we can potentially continue higher. No catalyst. QQQs, slight gap up. If QQQs, which is the ETF for NASDAQ, if we do have some fall through here, next level would be kind of up here, 500, sub 500. Okay, nice even number there. So we're only 2 points away from that. So in the event that this market continues to rally, Qs have some space. Okay, we filled this gap. We already liquidity swept right here. We pulled back down, so we're absorbing supply. And next stop could potentially, if this market wants to continue, the sub 500, sub 503, right? The all-time high in Qs right now is sitting at what, 503.65, give or take. Okay, might be off a penny or two. All right. So just rounding, it's 503.50s, right? 503.60s, right? So if QQQs get to 504, that's an all-time high, right? So get out the champagne, pop champagne. All right, pour one out for the bears who are just getting crushed, right? All right, for the bears traders, okay, shorts. So we'll see. Is that going to happen today? Not sure. All right, I'm not sure. We'll see. IWM, right? Great. Here it is. Is it going to break? The question is, is it finally going to use this market momentum that we have right now to potentially really break this finally and potentially get up here? The question would be, I don't know, right? If you're going to trade it. But as you can see, IWM is not as close as two all-time highs as any of the major four indexes. All right. So the candles are forming here pretty decent on the weeklies. Don't get me wrong. Okay. We do have a nice little hammer bar close, positive COG last week. And, we're trying to absorb the supply. So we could potentially pop. All right. It's just more of a weaker lagger versus not strength for right now. Okay. But, don't get me wrong. Okay. Of course, with the market moving up, it's just pulling small caps up with it as well. Right. So Apple, let's just check GLD real quick, pre-market quote. Anybody sell some puts on this down move here, as I was mentioning here? Sold some puts. If you did sell some puts, this rally up and with time decay as well. I already started to liquidate some of those, by the way. Just took a little pit stop there as well. SLV, a good one too, to do that. Bonds, we talked a bit about this. We were talking about this yesterday in the room, but in the futures advanced class, how we're on the 200-period moving average on TLT, and there could be a liquidity sweep, but right now bonds are up. There's a relationship with bonds, which I don't want to get into right now too much in detail, but bond price up, seesaw effect, bond price up, yield down is market up. Okay, so pre-market quote right now, bonds are up, pretty significant overnight session. Okay, and outside gap. Pretty cool there. So we'll see if that continues. That could be another sign of this market potentially just grinding itself higher. Apple in the news right now. Okay, which probably everybody knows in the world right now. So closed yesterday. We had a pro gap up yesterday, and a nice little close right here, and then we're gapping up in here. Now we are gapping up. Okay, up into this. This is the all-time high in Apple. I wouldn't be surprised if we do snag an all-time high onset Apple. Is it going to happen today? Not sure, but we do have this gap fill right here, so I'd want to be a little cautious on that. Okay, so that comes in nice even number, give or take 235. Okay, pre-market quote right now is 234.34. Okay, so just realize that. Okay, always look left, right? Just because it's gapping up does not mean it's going to continue to go up. Okay, but we might have some nice in the morning rush. Okay, we might have a continuation. All right, but just know too, we might have a gap up. a bit of a move down, okay, before that. And what I would say is on this is it's nice and clean, right? The good thing about Apple right now is the levels are nice and clean. So what was once supply, right, supply resistance, okay. Now we gapped up above that, okay. And could we pull back and use this handle right here as some flip demand on the other side? Give me a yes or a no on that. That comes in about 233. Okay, so just know and be courteous of that. Okay, always trade the chart. Don't be emotional. We could gap up, pull back into here first before we go higher. Okay, does that make sense? Okay, that would be a plan of action. Okay, or we could what? Gap up. Okay, because move up, gap up. We do have what's called a clearing gap here. Okay, we could continue up, come up here. Okay, and we can have what's called follow through on the smaller time frames here. As you'll see on the tape, right? This is why we try to train our traders in Phantoms to understand the intraday price action. Okay, so we could continue. Now, if you're long intraday, because we have positive COGs and the tape is holding VWAP, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, okay, as we're rallying up, make sure you're taking some profit up here. Okay, so we can have a gap up, follow through, and then we can dump down a little bit, okay, potentially, okay, or not. We just continue to rally, okay, or we can gap up, okay, which we are, and we can retest this and then come up. Does that make sense? All right, and I'm doing that extremely quick just because, we got 6 minutes before open and we have a couple other tickers that I want to get through. All right, does that make sense? Okay, so if I talk fast right there and I was like, what the heck is this guy talking about? This is why, go to Phantoms, TradePhantoms.com. You'll know how to trade tape. Okay, tape is being price action. All right, so we'll see. I'll try to do my best to read that for us with the, because right when the market opens in 30 minutes, I have maybe 15, 20 minutes with y'all. So I'll give my best insight with what I see for that short amount of time that we have. Amazon, I'm going to save some time here. Be careful with this. Slight gap up, nothing too exciting here. This thing is, I'm just going to move on. Google is outside gap today, pretty interesting. It's been one of the weaker ones, right? Government's trying to come after them. One thing about Google that I'm starting to realize a little bit here is we could have a little bit of a formation here. This is that darker line right here, right, is the yearly VWAP. And the point that I'm trying to make here, real quick, short and sweet, is I have a formation here. All the books, the trading books, just have you say, okay, here is the head and shoulders, what have you, okay. So this might be getting pretty interesting here. All right, now I don't really, right, the formation is cool, whatever. This will be the neckline, but we have yearly, monthly, and then we have this what's called fade view up. I'm sorry, new low view up right here, and we're being a pinch, and we're breaking what's called the fade view up right here. So pretty interesting. The question is, are we going to be able to break this area here? Okay, we do have a couple unfilled gaps right here. Okay, of course we have supply zones right in here. So I just want to be diligent on that. Today, outside gap. No, it's not outside gap right now. It's kind of teetering with it, but slightly bullish gap for today. Tesla is after its event. Okay, people on the internet are going crazy. They were fake and all this kind of stuff. So, it is what it is. We'll see. But earnings are coming up. Next stop is earnings. Okay, we did talk a little bit about this yesterday with the crew, with the team at Phantoms. But right now, yeah, this thing is just parked there. The thing I do like about it, though, if I just take a quick little field trip, rabbit hole really quickly for about 30 seconds or less, I got the monthly lows right in here, 20 EMA, and then I got a weekly demand zone, which is, at the end of the day, you have to look at the chart, demand supply, and I do like it because we do have the 200 moving average right here. Now, there could be some liquidity sweeping right in here. Okay, again, if I had more time, I'll talk a little bit about that. All right, but tomorrow in the trade room, when I have hours and hours and hours with the team, okay, Tesla's going to be on the top of the list because we have earnings prep for that, okay, because earnings are next week, okay, and we already kind of talked and spoke a little bit about that yesterday, okay. Today for day trade, we want to be a little cautious on it, all right, because inside bar, it's kind of like the bulls and the bears are kind of like, okay, what next, right? So just be patient with it. AVGO, one of my faves, my go-to for the bullish side of things. Today's gap is nothing. It's just kind of opening up almost exactly where we closed yesterday. This is still AVGO. Broadcom has still relative strength overall. So this thing has been the go-to for bullish trades, which allowed us to navigate in this range that the S&Ps were in for quite some time, right? So it's still holding its bullish strength, even though yesterday was a red bar close. So how the intraday tape lines up will be that will be on the list, of course, right? Slight gap down right now, so you can see we're about to open, so the liquidities, markets are moving, the pre-market quotes is jogging up and down. Meta, not much to say here. Be careful here. Last week's high, last week's low, all-time highs, coming off all-time highs. Not a couple days ago. We are in the middle of the range, so just be careful with Meta today. We are location-wise, we are in the middle of the range. Okay, obviously we're leaning more to the bullish side, which we have been because Meta is actually one of the stronger FANG stocks. Okay, that's making all-time highs as opposed to Google, Microsoft. Okay, that are not making all-time highs. Okay. But today for day trade, be very careful. Okay, the Meta likes to mess around sometimes on intraday as well. It's not the easiest to day trade, and so we're in the middle right now. So just be extremely careful with Meta, as the location is not ideal. Just on between last week and this week, for right now for day trades. Microsoft, slight gap up, and this one's, again, it's going to be a little difficult too, because we're still kind of, I don't want to keep saying the same thing here, but again, I'm telling you what's on the price chart here. We're still in the middle of the range, and Microsoft has been a bit more weaker, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, right? So you want to attack the strength on strength and weakness on weakness, and something like Microsoft is kind of just in the middle, along with Google. It's been a little bit more weaker, but it's trying to get some strength here, but it just can't. Okay, so I just want to be careful with that. Nvidia has been. Did I skip Amazon? Did I skip Amazon? I already went over Amazon. Amazon is going to be a little tricky, just because again, yeah, it's in the middle. It's in the middle of range. So there might be better ones. Intraday tape might be lining up decent. If you see it, you can take it, but just location wise, harder to do. But if you look at something like Amazon versus Nvidia, okay, which one's more cleaner and better, right, and more of a better right? I'm looking for a good, nice, clean setups, right? So Nvidia, beautiful, because it's not messing around in middle range. It's strong, right? So this is slight gap down. We'll see if semis can hold their bids today. AMD slight gap down, inside gap still. Not inside from yesterday, but the day prior, which is a mother bar. So we just gap down here on that. XOM gap down, but I like this little bid up here right now. But I gotta get out of that trade. Netflix earnings are coming up this Thursday. Talk to the folks for that and tomorrow. Okay, so you can see Apple already gapped up, and we already kind of retested into this 233 handle right now. Let me get some internals really quickly, and we'll see this tape. All right, let me just get a quick read on this. Too early for cumulative tick. Just get some advanced declines really quick. Positive 300. All right, and this is what's been happening here. We've been up, but not a lot of things are too crazy here. So Valdi, slightly up, low volume, positive real quick. Just looking at this really quick. All right, if I gap up, and let me go to this over here. The small time frames here. All right, so Apple gap up. Come on, man, this needs to fill in. Tesla wide range bar off open. Nvidia pulling back, coming off the Ryzen 20 on the intermediate. Tesla's fairly interesting here right now. Wide range bar off open. There's some shorts that are parked in from, so Tesla might be decent here for a, there's some shorts still patting themselves on the back for robo-taxi there. But let's see. I can lean against this bar here. So October, what, 18th is this Friday expiration here. So if I go here, fixing to do long call on Tessie here. So if I pick up, say, the 227.5 long call, it's going for about, what, 263. All right, so I'm gonna look, fixing to get long call Tesla here. What is that, the 227.5? All right. All right, there we go. The lowest fill imaginable. I got 278 fill, looks like they gave me. All right, long call Tesla. Day trade, day trade. All right, let me see, Walmart. Walmart, breakaway gap, decent. Google, trying to play some ball here. Continuation, a couple days ago. Google's monthly bar, interesting. That, that monthly bar is nice. Google, hold the view up for a moment here. I'll call Google. I'm just sifting through, seeing if there's anything a little bit better here. So Google might be decent here too as well. Not 100% aligned, but trying to fix its way through and battle its way through. Long call Google here. October 18th, so it's a day trade, right? So just using next expiration. And if you wanted to get lower risk, lower delta, maybe you could pick up the 170. Those going for about 74 cents. Because I can already tell there's not a lot of setups here this morning, I'll probably get a little bit more delta here. I'll pick up the 167.5 personally here. Okay, long call Google October 18th, 167.5. I'll give you a fill in a moment. I got a 170, nope, 180 fill. Sorry, no, 177. Sorry about that. All right, long call. Google. Everybody snagged that 233 handle on Apple. Everybody trying to play ball here. Continuation. We could be a little patient on that. Opening days range about first 15 minutes. Okay, so I don't like this wick that is potentially forming, not closed yet, right here. So I'm gonna let NVIDIA prove to me a little bit here. Last week, look at yesterday, NVIDIA proved first 5 minutes, boing. That's what you want to see right there. So it's not doing that today, so just be patient, but it's forming. It's trying to form. Anybody snag Google? Apple? It came right down into, anybody snag this? Open, retest, boom. No, you don't take it. Let me see, Oracle. I gotta put Oracle on my FANG list. This thing's a beast. Inside bar right now, this could potentially break out. Oracle has relative strength. The one thing that I would say that's we have to be a little careful here is we are outside of 2 standard deviations on the monthlies and weeklies. That's always a little, you gotta be a little careful there. So, good job, Aggie. Aggie lifestyle, Apple lifestyle. Look at her go, my girl. So yeah, just be a little cautious on Oracle. You can work on this. It has a base break. Don't get me wrong here. We'll see, but I just gotta, we're late to this now on the monthlies and weeklies. Look at this hammer bar, inside bar break last month. It just popped it up. But now we're a little extended because we're outside of 2 STDs on the monthlies and weeklies. So that's a little, it's a little high right there, right? And not because I'm saying that, just because of stats. All right. Definitely should have focused a bit more on Apple versus Tesla here today because I just missed my own setup. But it's all good. Let's see. Amount of breaking down. So FANG's getting a little heavy here. Well, what was that? That was just, that was Apple, of course. All right, I would suggest to TP some Apple if you are long calls. We're getting up into that gap fill area. CMG, Chipotle, making me hungry already. This is Chipotle. The options are not as liquid, so just be careful with that one. You can see the follow through on bullish trades right now off the open are not strong right now. I don't think the options are liquid as much on CMG, so we have to be a little careful on this. They're actually filling in pretty decent. But it's trying to, yeah, we got some alignment on this. It's trying to follow through here. CMG. Financials are on fire right now. Bank of America has a gap and crap right now going on it. So this is it's below VWAP, and we could potentially fill this gap with momentum down. But just know that financial sector right now, XLF is the #1 dog. I'm actually not too happy about because I've been focusing on energy a little bit, while XLF has been the leader. But we caught Bank of America last Friday. I mean, JP Morgan, which is a monster trade for the team. Shout out to Blessing, who caught crazy trade right there on last Friday. So we caught like the biggest breakout of JP Morgan in quite some time. So just be careful. Bank of America, yes, it's coming down, fading its gap and crap, right? But just know that it's in one of these stronger sectors right now. So as you can see, even just right now, we haven't moved down here initially. All right, we filled 50% of the gap, but you're kind of going against strength, so you just want to be a little careful on that. All right, just giving you a humble 2 cents there on that. Apple is definitely the play of the day. Walmart off the open. So you can see Google not aligned as much. And no fall through here off the open. AMD is one that I was looking at. But it's too close to daily demand for right now, so I don't want to get, and I already might be trapped on Google. Man, that 233 handle on Apple was just on fire. That was the trade of the day right there, boom. All right, so we got to pull back. We got to pull back on VWAP. All right, we have a gap fill right there. Stop loss on this. Let me just give you a stop loss here. So we got 166. Yep, TP Apple. Aggie, yep. Caught that. Good job. I can't believe right when I went over to Tesla, I saw Apple at 233. I should have just pulled the trigger on 233 Apple right there. But you can see, I usually, trade, I don't know. I don't even know. I went to Tesla immediately, real quick, right before, and I saw Apple right there. But I gave you all that morning plan there, and I didn't even take it, which I'm a little annoyed about. But yeah, TP some Apples were coming up into that, up there. Nice retest to the 233s. Classic. SPY's a little heavy. Stop loss here. Make sure so you can cover some risk. Uh, 166.09 on that. And let me just see what that looks like here. So if I go to Goo and bought these for 177, right now they're going for 143, so down slightly. No big deal. Too much. And let me see. So we have 166.09. So I'm price slicing the risk on this. 166.09. And if we bought this for 177, if we get stopped out today at 166.09, so giving that a little bit of space here, okay, because we could just come down and fill this gap. I like to put my stop loss right down in here in the gap fill. Sometimes you'll often see stocks come fill the gap, okay, and then potentially make a move here. All right, might not even get there, right? If you haven't even broke opening day's bar right here, okay. So point that I'm trying to make is if you get stopped out right there for right now, okay, or today. Your risk is about what, $80. So we bought from 177, you'd be down about what, $80. So just cut out for loss. All right, but not there yet. Apple TP, oh man, 233. That's making me look like a fool. Came right to the level right there. Tesla, same thing. Let me give y'all some here. Stop loss on this. Don't like how Tesla tried to reclaim VWAP that white line right there and failed so far, but we still opening bars range right here. Because my time went up off this for YouTube right now, but I mean, I'm not going to leave y'all with no management. I'm not like that. So 218, 218.14, and man, playing with Tesla when Apple is number one. So let me just see what this looks like here. 218.14. 218.14, right? And what we bought for 278. We bought $1.50 if you want to put your stop loss below there. Okay. Again, so this one might be. We already tried to reclaim VWAP right there. I'm still a little sick, by the way. I got this like lingering cold here. You can probably tell by my voice, I sound like Kermit the Frog. But so we want to give a little time and space, right? But we still haven't taken out this opening bars range just yet. All right. So we'll see. So that's why I'm going to give it a little space right here. All right. But if we start to range a bit more here, all right, we can begin to trail that up. Right now, I'm in the trade room. I'm going to be obviously here, being able to manage this with you folks, right? You can see Google trying to reclaim its VWAP back there. Amazon. You can see IWM. I don't remember about put play. No, I'm wrong. I was looking at AMD. Man, I would love to I'm loving this intraday tape AMD short. The only challenge with that, if I look at the higher time frames, we're coming down into daily demand. So I do not want to give y'all that, and then you get right smacked a little bit right there in that daily demand. And I'll be trapped a little bit in Tesla. Not done yet, but of course Apple was the biggest one here. So NVIDIA no fall through pullback on this. So that's why it's important to make sure to understand the higher time frames, because we're up in that daily, right, giving back everything that it did yesterday. All right, did not give us some fall through on that. Let's see. SPYs are just stuck on VWAP. Advanced decline slightly improving. Valdes slightly down, but not extreme. Positive -3 is extreme. VIX holding on to its lows. And SPYs attempting to try to continue to break its VWAP above higher, led by Apple. I cannot believe I did not pick up Apple at 233s. Let me check this for y'all real quick. Export. Let me refresh this. So much I want to trust this. Positive COG on SPYs. XO I'm going to cut. Apple's just going to be a max loss, Sean. Apple's just going to be a max loss on that. You know, like $1.50. XO I'm going to cut those. And SPY, Sean, remember, SPY, Sean, you got to remember, brother, it's a hedge, brother. All right? I mean, I don't know how much more times I could say that. I don't know. I even last Friday, I actually did a full hour, I think, on it, discussing it, rolling our deltas and risk and all that. SPY, I'm sorry, XOM and Apple was not a hedge or anything. That was like a trade. And those are just going to be a loss on those. Right, like $2, 2 something on XOM. Actually, what are they going for right now? Those are getting cooked, but those are wrong. But yeah, the SPY's a hedge. The SPY's a hedge. Yeah, XOM cut, brother, for sure. Wow, this is telling me be careful here. There's a lot of I'll make sure this is my facts straight here. A lot of open nodes here. So a lot of open nodes here right now on this. So yeah, be a little careful on this. Gex is all over the place here. Cool. All right, I'm well over my time here. But as you can see, Tesla trying to fall through here. Apple, I can't believe I missed that, my own trade there. Google trying to fall through there. All right, just trade safe, folks, right? Trade safe. All right, manage that. Manage that. XOM, make sure you cut. SPYs are a hedge. Apple, bought options for like $1.50. Right? Even if you took Apple today, would have made up for that in the swing that we were in, right? It's not, again, it's counter trend, right? So I wanted to be a little bit careful with that. I mean, on that swing. But yeah, this 233 handle is beautiful right here. I mean, almost to the T, right? But yeah, if this floats your boat, usually it will continue to go. So if these makes equal to a new high, make sure you TP for you folks, right? Right, Tesla's looking decent right now. I mean, it's still early right now, but for the ones that we're in right now, they're slightly profitable. Apple missed it. My own fault. And other than that, just trade safe. Semiconductors pulling back a little bit. Financials still fairly hot, but they're pulling back because they're getting a little bit extended. What's JP Morgan doing today, this morning? Yeah, a little choppy right now, right? So XLF is a beast right now. So option flows are slightly positive. And you've got a couple of Bitcoin plays too. All right, Bitto's looking good. To be some Bitto. And if this is, yeah, no problem, brother, Sean, my man. And yeah, if this is floating your boat, my time's up. Go to hit TradePhantoms.com there, right? Just click on register if you're really, really new. And Thursday, October 17th, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, there'll be a 90-minute, hour and a half class, give or take. Put your first name, last name to get email registered. Here's kind of the agenda, right? What's on the dock there? How markets work from professionals, hosted by Mr. Black or Mr. Green. Sometimes they're both in there. All right, wealth of experience and knowledge. Okay, all asset classes, stocks, futures, forex, options, even crypto. Okay, all the way from short-term trading, scalping, say for example. Futures, okay, for a couple of ticks, couple points, all the way to long-term capital management, okay, all right, and I kind of lead that capital management there as I'm kind of everything. I scalp, I can scalp futures, and I can put on some hedges to ensure our portfolios, which we just talked a little bit about last Friday, right? So it's kind of a one-stop shop for everything, folks. We do everything here. So all asset classes, all types of trading, okay. So no matter what you do, what your interest is, whatever your race, creed, background, doesn't matter. All right, come one, come all. Cool. All right, and if it's a good fit, fine. If not, that's okay too. And it looks like, make sure you're managing those trades. All right, Google new highs here. I'm going to TP campaign. And that being said, blew out. I'll see some of y'all later today for no problem. No problem. Pleasure is mine. I'll see some of y'all later today in class, and then of course tonight. Tonight and then tomorrow regular programming for Wednesday. I'm out. God bless. Take care, folks. Trade safe. Blue out.